I'm Sean McClellan, and I have once again no comment on the Jets. Sometimes I can't wait for this show to be over.
I'm Tom Owen. It was a rough fantasy week, to say the least.
I'm at Mano, and I'm in the same boat as Tom. We're both going to need miracles. My God, I always find a way to blow it in the playoffs.
I'm Finnegan Corcoran-Dolan, and it looks like Q got the predictions right.
Hello and welcome to BMB's Primetime Fantasy Report, in the stands interview for Week 14 in the NFL and in fantasy sports. Getting down to business, the Bears took the W Sunday. Now, Sean Patriots, welcome to the show, longtime Bears fan. Bears are coming into Week 14 at 6-7. Do they have a shot?
Yeah, they definitely still have a shot. Their record isn't looking great. They have one more loss than they do wins. But look, we have an okay schedule coming up. We face the Vikings, the Packers, and then the Lions. Or no, not the Lions, the Jaguars. So I think we win 2 out of 3 of those games. I think we beat the Vikings. They've been not doing so great these last couple of weeks. And I think we definitely beat Jacksonville Packers. That's not a shot, to be honest with you. But they're still in the hunt for that, definitely. So, yeah, I can see them making the playoffs still.
Now, Sean, it's been a rough year at quarterback. It started off Trubisky. About week 4 or 5, it went to Foles. And ever since it was Foles to the injury, then Trubisky came back. Who are you going with so far?
Look, I've always supported Mitch, to be honest with you. Last season was rocky for him, and I get that. But in my opinion, he was taken out way too soon in the beginning of the year. He was taken out week 3 against the Falcons. Yes, they were getting destroyed by the Falcons, and then Foles came in with like the last quarter or so and threw those 3 amazing touchdowns and whatever. But then when you look at it, Foles has done nothing else. Foles won. He beat the Bucks. I think he then beat the Panthers, and then that was it. The guy, he's not mobile as a quarterback. He's up there in age, and I just think he's a better backup quarterback than he should be a starter. So right now, personally, after Mitch's performance against the Texans, I say keep Mitch in and see what happens from there. Take it from there.
So, Sean, for fantasy managers, right, you have you have David Montgomery, Allen Robinson. You have these young, athletic, athletes who could possibly win fantasy managers championships with their schedule ahead. These fantasy managers are banking on these players, 2-3 weeks ahead. They could be looking at a victory with these kind of players. How do you feel about, being a Bears fan and possibly players on your team as a fan could win fantasy championships?
I mean, look, it's a great feeling knowing that one of our Bears players could win that big championship. Trubisky got 30 points this past week, he got like 24 actually, so it wasn't that good, but still 3 touchdowns. Yeah. So Trubisky's up there. He honestly, if you need a quarterback, like let's say your quarterback just got hurt or whatever, I would look into Trubisky. The guy's still mobile. He gets good running yards. Allen Robinson, he's always a good pickup. I have him currently. He got 27 for me last game. David Montgomery too. He's tearing it up out there. So yeah, it's a great feeling knowing that we have some top names that could definitely help your team out.
So with 3 weeks left in the NFL regular season until the postseason, not knowing if the Bears are still up in the air right now, but say they don't make the playoffs, what are you looking for as a Bears fan for the Bears organization and coaching staff to do first in the offseason?
I personally would get rid of Matt Nagy and Ryan Pace, the general manager. They have not been making some good decisions. I mean, 6 losses in a row explains and that tells more than enough you need to know there. In the draft, I say we pick up a couple more good defensemen on our, also an O-line. Oh my God, we need one of those. So that would be important. But also I would pick up a good quarterback, like no one huge, not like a big name quarterback. Pick up like a decent quarterback for Trubisky to start having some more competition. That's why we signed Nick Foles, to give Trubisky that competition. And yeah, it worked. It made him grind more. It made him, feel like, okay, I need to step up. And in my eyes, he has. So I think those are like the little moves that we need to do. But I would definitely do something with coaching, because coaching, that's got to get fixed immediately.
We're going to be switching gears just a bit here. Many of you guys may not know this, or how the fantasy show here gets on the air to the YouTube page every week. Through Sean Petritis right here, a longtime Bears fan and producer of BMB's Primetime Fantasy Report podcast. So Sean, how did this show come about?
So with everything going on in the world, obviously there's been no sports in the beginning of the year. That means the beginning of the year is big with football. There's none of that. So we can't, from BMB, go out and shoot those games and cover those games. So me and Mr. Stein, we're talking about like ideas that we can still incorporate sports in our productions. And we knew a bunch of these guys on the show that are in the same fantasy football league. And we know fantasy football is big throughout Bellmore High School. So we decided to make a tips and tricks to, take the trophy in fantasy this year. So, and it's been a very successful show in my eyes. It's been amazing to produce the show every week. And, it just gives that sense of sports and reality into Mevum High School and broadcasting. So.
All right, Sean. So the NFL season is ending in just a few weeks. So this show will not be sticking around, as the NFL season concludes. Do you have any future plans after the NFL season finishes?
Yes, there's current talks to have an NHL fantasy show. So be on the lookout for that coming up soon. It's going to be a whole different cast. I think I'll be on the show full-time as a host. That's going to be like a week-to-week of the NHL. What players are good, what players that are projected good, stats, stuff like that. But also, even though the fantasy football is ending, that doesn't mean that this show is specifically ending. We're still going to have a whole playoff bracket and a whole playoff watch past fantasy. So after fantasy said and done, we're still going to stick around, do the playoffs, do the Super Bowl. So we're not done yet.
Well, Sean, it's been great seeing you on your own show, and I hope to see you on it soon again. Now back to you, Q.
Thanks, other Sean. So since I'm out of the playoff picture, I'll give it over to Mano so he can brag about his 12-1 team.
I really don't want to. It's been a rough week. I put up a decent amount of points. I put up 118. It's decent. Not against the number one scoring team. Dude put up 140, and now I'm in the need of a miracle, all because Julio Jones got injured. So I panic-started Chris Godwin. He gave me 4.5 in the playoffs. And Cam Akers on my bench gave me 21.6. Oh, not to mention Deebo Samuel got injured on the first play from scrimmage. So, yeah, I need a miracle. But, hey, I got some pretty good matchups. Cam Akers going up against the Jets. Maybe he'll give me like a 40 spot. It'll be like maybe. I can still get to the championship match, but it'll be close. I'm going to need a miracle. I think I can get it, but who knows? Hey, Finn, how'd you do this week?
Well, I did really, really well, and I didn't think I was going to do well in fantasy this week because let's just say before Monday night's game, I was losing by a lot. I don't know how many points I was losing by, but it really didn't matter. I was, down by a lot, and the two players who carried me was Kareem Hunt and Lamar Jackson, and I don't think a lot of people thought Lamar Jackson was going to get 34 points on fantasy. He's been everywhere this season. He hasn't got over 30 points this season. So it's been a weird season. And all I have to say is thank you to Sean, because I actually got Lamar Jackson from Sean McQuillan on a trade. And he is really winning me this matchup right now. And as of Kareem Hunt, I picked him in a late round in the fantasy. And he's really producing. he's been, again, not that great this season, but as a late-round pick, he's not too bad, and I'm very happy with him. Well, now let's go off to Tom. Tom, how are you doing?
Well, Finn, you basically summed it all up, and I just got one word for that. It's just true disappointment. Just a disappointment that I have a receiver, a number one on the Jaguars, DJ Chark, putting up 3 points. He's got to do more than that. This is the playoffs. He can't just put up 3 points, and I'm more in the Mano's boat. I had Mike Davis put up 26. Where was he located on my roster? On the bench. So it's definitely unfortunate, but yeah. But now getting back more to the show, starting off the best fantasy players that lost is the Washington football team's defense, who scored 23 points in their win over the 49ers. Washington takes on the Seahawks next week.
Hey, I bet they outscored Chris Godwin.
The top scoring kicker was from the Dallas Cowboys, Greg Zuerlein, with 14 fantasy points for your fantasy team.
The top scoring tight end from the Kansas City Chiefs is Travis Kelce. Someone who's been on this list so many times. Honestly, I'd be surprised if someone takes Kelce's spots on this list because no one is even close. He put up 27.6 this week against a really good Miami defense. Really impressive stuff from one of the best tight ends, if not the best tight end in the game. And if you were wondering, yes, he outscored Chris Godwin. And no, I could not have started him. I don't have him.
Well, from the Buffalo Bills, wide receiver Stephon Diggs, who had another amazing game. Diggs put up 29.1 fantasy points and has been a really good help for you and your team this season.
Not surprisingly, Derrick Henry's on the list again. Henry put up 36.2 points in their win over the Jags. Henry ran for 215 yards and 2 touchdowns. Similar to Travis Kelce, I don't think Henry is leaving this list anytime soon.
See, I knew I should have been scared of Henry. I called it. Thank God I'm not playing him.
And the top scoring quarterback this week was Lamar Jackson, who scored 34.9 points this week on Monday's phenomenal game against the Cleveland Browns. Jackson scored 2 rushing touchdowns, ran for 124 yards, and passed for 1 touchdown. Is MVP Jackson back? We'll find out sooner or later if the Ravens can start getting towards that playoff picture.
So many good players to start in Week 14. All of these players, Curtis Samuel, Nelson Aguilar, Gabriel Davis, Rashard Higgins, Marquise Brown, Sammy Watkins, Jerry Jeudy, Russell Gage, Laviska Shenault, Chad Hansen. We didn't start the fire. It's ridiculous. All of these players I could have taken off the waiver wire. I dropped Curtis Samuel, yet I started Chris Godwin. Man, it feels great to be an Ottawa Firebird now, doesn't it? So who won in one of the most important weeks of the season? Oh, my, I keep taking L's this week. My God, it was a rough day for me on Thursday night as my New England Patriots got destroyed by the Rams. It was not a good game. Our run defense got destroyed by, who do you know, Cam Akers, who was, like I've been saying, all podcasts on my bench.
So the Tennessee Titans defeated the Jacksonville Jaguars 31-10 in what was basically all in favor of the Titans. The Titans are now closer to securing a playoff spot for the playoffs.
The Buccaneers also had an amazing performance against the Vikings. Brady was throwing dimes and couldn't be stopped. Keeps you wondering, is age just a number nowadays?
Could have those dimes gone to Chris Godwin? You know what? I'm done with that.
Yeah, you better be, Mano, because clearly not.
Well, surprising Patrick Mahomes made one of his worst plays in his NFL career. He took a 30-yard sack against the Miami defense while throwing 3 interceptions. Mahomes said it was a love and a hate relationship at Hard Rock Stadium. Obviously, the Super Bowl win and now a clinch of the AFC West, and him throwing 3 picks and a couple in the Super Bowl.
The Denver Broncos got a big win over the Carolina Panthers this past Sunday in a Super Bowl 50 rematch. Drew Lock threw for 280 yards and 4 touchdown passes, 2 of them going to KJ Hamler, who, yes, for the 160th time, outscored Chris Godwin.
Damn, Mano, I think the viewers know you're garbage at fantasy football.
I think this has already been established since like week 10. I'm 12-1.
Well, why do you keep mentioning it, Mano?
I'm the worst 12-1 manager in all of America. We get it.
Then you can't complain.
are 12-1, young man. I am 3-10.
For good
Don't
reason.
I'm 8-5, man.
Are you the Ravens of last year?
Yeah, exactly. I am exactly that. I'm the Dallas Cowboys of
Yeah.
fantasy football.
He's
The
the
most
14, yeah.
the Dallas Cowboys of fantasy football. The most arrogant, great in the regular season, and then just can't get it done.
Mano, speaking of the Cowboys, Andy Dalton got some revenge on his former team, the Cincinnati Bengals, with the Dallas Cowboys winning on Sunday. Dalton threw 2 touchdowns and threw for 185 yards. The hunt for the NFC East still continues.
The Indianapolis Colts also defeated the Las Vegas Raiders 44-27. Phil Rivers and the Colts are still trying to punch their way into the playoffs. The Colts are still tied first with the Tennessee Titans in the AFC in their division with 9 wins and 4 losses apiece. The AFC South is coming down to the wire like it always does.
My New York Giants unfortunately took a loss on Sunday against the Cardinals. We were on a 4-winning streak, and which could have been 5, but we just came short of the Cardinals. Well, not really. We lost by a load of points, I guess you could say 26-6. Daniel Jones maybe came back a little too early for the Giants, as you know what people say. Washington has took the lead of the division, which the Giants were winning before the Cardinals game. And unfortunately, the Giants are now in second place in the division, and we're hoping for a win against the Browns this Sunday, but it's going to be tough on Sunday Night Football. And we don't even know who we're starting yet. It could be Daniel Jones. It could be Colt McCoy. But whoever it is, let's hope Big Blue.
0-12, 0-12. Shockingly enough, Russell Wilson threw 4 touchdown passes and had another phenomenal performance. What else is new? I guess the Giants are the only New York team that can beat the Seahawks. Whatever, move on.
Q, you just wasted your breath on an 0-12 Jets who were going nowhere. Why add them on the show, man? But hey, I can't lie. I'm a Jets fan, but we'll talk about that when the draft comes. They got the first pick.
Adam Gase may be the worst coach, one of the worst coaches I've ever seen on a football field. He's a horrible coach. He's ruining his development. If he goes to Pittsburgh, I think, or even Chicago, they're going to be a good playoff team, in my opinion. And second, don't ever put the word playoff and Jets in the same sentence until I see Trevor Lawrence wearing a Jets uniform and until I see a new coach in a Jets jacket.
Well, Q, all we can say is time will tell.
It'll tell them they'll be still bad.
Okay, Mr. Patriots guy over here.
Still got 6 rings.
Oh, Manno. Yeah, you still unwrapping the gift from Sports Talk?
Oh, boy, here we go.
The Green Bay Packers defeated division rivals, the Detroit Lions. Rodgers keeps performing at another level, and he doesn't seem to be stopping anytime soon. With the help of Jones, Adams, and Tanyan Jr., the Packers are a possible Super Bowl contender.
It's possible, Finn. Teams that aren't Super Bowl contenders are the Falcons and the Chargers. Both have been eliminated from the playoffs, and both may be eliminated, but both are still getting your team great fantasy points and fantasy production from athletes.
The Washington football team got a huge win over the 49ers, helping them get closer to clinching the NFC East. You see what I did there. Washington is now in first place, but the Giants are still really close. Honestly, the race to win the NFC East might be the most entertaining things of the NFL this season.
Upset alert! The Eagles defeated the Saints with rookie quarterback Jalen Hurts. Hurts got his first NFL win over a team like the Saints. Great first win and great performance. Maybe they should have started Hurts a very long time ago.
Handing the Steelers their second loss of the season was the Buffalo Bills, who defeated the Steelers 26-15. Were the Steelers frauds this whole season?
Absolutely. Their receivers make more TikToks than they catch balls. They don't have a running game. Their defense is great, but that's about it. When you're going up against a guy like Josh Allen, you got to make some plays, and the Steelers could not do it. They've confirmed what I've been saying the whole year about them. They're frauds. They won't make it out of the second round of the playoffs. They won't.
Damn, Manno. You're going to be in trouble when Miss K sees this.
Oh, really? I'm going to stand by this. Watch. The Steelers will win they could win their division. I'm not going to book it yet, but they will not make it past the AFC Championship game if they get that far.
Manno, I agree with you on some part of that. I think the Steelers are a great football team. I'm not saying they're better than – I think they're a great – yeah, I think they're a great football team, but you put them aside against, like, the Packers or, elite teams
Like the
such as the Chiefs, all these explosive teams, they don't have a shot.
Like a team with a defense, give them a team with a defense, they're done. They're done. The elite defense stops them. That's right.
But those are playoff teams that you guys are talking about. I mean, you're going to have to verse some hard teams to even get close to a Super Bowl chance.
They're not going to get it.
Finn, they already made the playoffs, so it depends who they're going to be playing in the playoffs.
Yeah, the Steelers they're total frauds. They don't have an offense, and in a league that's dominated by offense. Now you see Patrick Mahomes putting up 30, 40 points every week, not fantasy points, real points, Chiefs offense every week, putting up 30, 40 like it's nothing. You're going to have to be able to match that pace. The Steelers have not shown me that they're able to do that.
And the final game of the week, which is the most entertaining game of the season, and on Monday Night Football this season, the Ravens defeated the Browns, but it was a hard-fought victory. Coming down to the last minute of the game, it was still back and forth. And what do you guys think about this? Best Monday night game so far. It was a crushing blow to my fantasy team. Now, let's not talk about that on here, but,
that was definitely the best game of the season I've seen so far. I mean,
hands down game of the year, hands down.
There was, 89 points fully scored in that game. 47-42, the ending, right? That was an unbelievable game. Both teams, really, give them credit.
Congratulations to anyone who bet Ravens -3. That really saved you. Final play, Ravens cover. That was fun. Killed the Patriots season, but it was still a great game. Nick Chubb put up 22 for my fantasy. Trace McSorley got it, and everybody wins, except for the Browns.
That will wrap up this week's edition of BMB Primetime Fantasy Report. I've been Finnegan Corcoran-Doolin, and I need the Giants to win this week.
I've been Matt Manno, and maybe we can get that miracle. If only Cam Akers can come up clutch.
I've been Sean McClellan, and I wish I needed someone to win this week, but I don't.
I've been Tom Moore, and Mano, I couldn't agree with you more. Good luck to those still in the playoffs, and we'll see you next week for Week 15 in the NFL.